Show has time, looks for Deutsch. Deutsch at the one into the end zone.
Comes on to serve, dug out by Bishop. This to the middle and slamming one home.
And free ball to the crossover. Eilertson will get the pass for Hawley. Set up left side. Rustad down with the kill. He'll play action now. Look to pass over the middle. It's intercepted by Cole Hebel. Intercepted by Hebel, and he brings it back.
Set it up, Bostena left side. Big kill blocked at the net. Kept alive by the Greyhounds.
Fetting's got room, and here's Bo Fetting. Fetting's still on his feet. Fetting's gone. Bo.
Header serve goes to Kiera Johnson. A libero, but mishandles it. It's an ace.
Riddle 40, 30, he's loose, 20, 10, touchdown, Spartans.
Halsted Telephone Company and R&J Broadcasting Incorporated is proud to present to you this broadcast on YourLiveEvent.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Joe Lancello. Welcome to the Coaches Show on YourLiveEvent.com. We appreciate you joining us. And over the next few minutes, we'll be talking high school girls golf at Hillsborough Central Valley. We'll also be talking some high school volleyball and also high school football as that gets underway in Minnesota after a couple of weeks of high school football in North Dakota. And one of the teams off to a 2-0 start is the Mayville, Portland, Clifford, Galesburg Patriots. And I had a chance to talk with their coach, Adam Sola, a little bit ago.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show on YourLiveEvent.com. I'm Joe Lancello, joined now by Adam Sola, the coach of the Mayport Clifford Galesburg Patriots from Region 2 in 9-man football, and off to a pretty good start, ranked number 4 in the state as of last week, and coming off a couple of nice wins over Windermere and Hankinson. Adam, talk about your season so far.
Yeah, well, like you said, we've started the year off against 2 solid clubs that we fully expect to be playoff teams by the end of the year in Windermere and Hankinson, and a little bit of different types of teams where Windermere threw the ball around a little bit more and Hankinson ran the ball. But overall, our teams have played really well. We've played pretty decent defense, and our offense and defensive lines have been really well, or been playing really good. Our running backs, of course, because of that offensive line play, have had tons of room to be able to run. Ethan Bergstrom had a terrific game here on Friday against Hankinson. He had 215 yards on only 7 carries, and you don't do that when things are getting gummed up inside. So those linemen are doing a really good job at being able to open things up. And Lennon Koenig at quarterback has done a really good job at managing the game as well and getting the ball to open receivers. So it's just been an all-around good team effort right now.
That is a nice thing about 9-man football is that once you get a block, you get an opening, and you've got a quick running back, that can lead to a lot of really big plays.
Yeah, and we don't have just necessarily the one guy that you can key on this year. I mentioned Ethan Bergstrom had a big game this last game, but we've got 2 other running backs also, and Zyler Carlson and Noah Mayhews that are definitely speed guys too. I think one of the more impressive plays on Friday night against Hankinson was Zyler Carlson caught a pass over the middle, and it was about a 10-yard pass or so, but he ended up running it for about 70 and broke about 6-7 tackles on the sideline to get there. And the play eventually got called back because of a penalty, unfortunately, but just the sheer effort and be able to put your shoulder down on his part was great too. We don't have just the one effort or the one halfback or the one running back that's able to get to that edge. We've got multiple guys that can do that this year.
Well, you've talked about the linemen. Let's give them some credit. Let's give them some pub.
Yeah, absolutely. We're anchored by 2 senior guards in Andrew Arsvold and Lucas Fogelberg. We've got a junior at center, John Muse, that this is the first time that he's been playing a decent amount of varsity time for us. But they've all been playing together for long enough now to where they understand who needs to go where, and they can do a lot of it without talking. They can make some big hits as far as kick-out blocks and things like that, but they do a really good job of getting up to the second level, which is a big key to our success against Windermere. They've got a really good linebacker in Andrew Arth, and those guys were able to get up to them and make it so that it was tougher on him in the second half, and so he couldn't make the plays. But it's just they're not your prototypical linemen either. I guess they're very athletic. They're pretty quick guys, and they spend a ton of time in the weight room. So you put that all together on a couple of guards and a center, and you can do an awful lot of things with that and opening space up.
How have you guys been doing on defense?
Really well. We over the last 2 games here, we've forced 5 turnovers. Granted, we've given up some points. We gave up 18 on Wyndmere and 12 to Hankinson here the other night. But in all reality, a couple of those are just big plays that we gave up, some blown coverages and things like that. But kind of the same thing as offense. We've got a lot of really quick guys that want to play defense and are physical, and we can throw a bunch of different looks at guys. We can go strong up front, or we can kind of drop back and play zone coverages, and they're all capable of playing multiple roles in that. We've got 2 D linemen up front in Brooks Braun and Andrew Arsvold that are really good at taking on double teams and keeping offensive linemen off our linebackers, that open things up and enable them to make plays. And so some of those running backs get to play those linebacker spots too, which is a big key because they're quick to the edge. And like you were saying, they do a really good job of not letting other teams get to the edge. And that's been a huge key to our success on the defensive side.
I take it being ranked number 4 in the state at this part of the season, even if it is still kind of early, no surprise to you?
Well, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't look a ton at the polls like that. I think the kids more so do. They like to see our name up there because they've been saying for a few years we've got some things to prove as a program. We want to get further in the playoffs than we have been here historically. But yeah, no, it is a big deal. It's good to be recognized by media and coaches for the effort that the boys have been putting in. And you can't sniff at being a top 4 team this early, because what that speaks to is the way that we kind of left off last year, and the guys that we've got returning, and people are aware of what we've got coming back this year. And so hopefully we can make a solid run at the region and at the in the playoffs as well.
Now, you've got Colfax Richland, your opponent this week. They're off to an 0-2 start. What kind of things do you know about them?
Just from film that I've watched here the last couple of days on them, they're a different team than they have been historically. Looks like they've got a lot of double twin sets that are going to come in tight, kind of a T formation with 3 running backs as well. And so it's going to be a run game. It's going to be physical up front, and so we're going to have to be physical. Bring the attitude that we've played against Wyndmere and Hankinson to these guys as well this week. But I'm sure at their home site they're going to put up a good fight for us. And you never know when you're coaching high school kids what's going to happen on a Friday night.
That's kind of the nature of 9-man football. Also, is that if somebody breaks a tackle or a couple of tackles, that can make a big change to the scoreboard very quickly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can get a lot of points in a hurry, and especially in North Dakota compared to the Minnesota field where we don't shrink it down at all. There's even more space out on those edges, and yeah, the momentum can change in a hurry, but good teams are going to be able to kind of even out those dips and those highs and play solid football the whole way through. And I think that's our goal this week. I don't know that we've put 4 full quarters together yet. So that's kind of what we've been talking about so far, is we just need to play all 4 quarters the way that we know how.
Well, we look forward to seeing how the Patriots do this season. Adam, thank you for your time and best of luck.
Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
Adam Sola, the coach of the Mayport, Mayville, Portland, Clifford, Galesburg Patriots, off to a 2-0 start, hoping to make it 3 against Colfax Richland. We'll continue with the Coaches Show right after this.
Bank with the area's lending leader, Community Development Bank in Ogama. Open at 8:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. They offer more to serve you, their valued customers. See Robin for all of your financial needs. Boat loans, car loans, four-wheelers, business, home improvement, and vacation home loans. They do it all. Call 218-983-3241 or log on to comdevbank.com. Community Development Bank in Ogama. Member FDIC.
North Dakota state law requires students attending school to be up to date on immunizations that protect them from life-threatening diseases such as measles, chickenpox, mumps, or pertussis. Trail District Health Unit reminds parents to get your children all the recommended vaccinations for their health and the safety of our community. Contact Trail District Health Unit if you have any vaccination questions or if you would like to schedule an appointment. Call 701-636-4600 4434 for Trail District Health Unit.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show on YourLiveEvent.com. I'm Joe Lancello, and for the first time we'll be talking about girls high school golf, which is going on in the state of North Dakota this fall. Had a chance to talk with Ryan Opdahl, the coach of Hillsborough Central Valley, and to get his thoughts on the season so far.
We continue on the Coaches Show on YourLiveEvent.com, and for the first time we're talking about some girls high school golf, and Ryan Opdahl, the coach of Hillsborough Central Valley, joins us now. Ryan, I understand you had a meet on Monday. How did that go?
Yeah, so we were in Leonard on Monday. It was a windy day, tough conditions out there. So we for our first varsity meet for our two older girls, Crystal Magnuson and Morgan Potasic, they did a great job. Our scores might not have been where we wanted them to be, but right now we're just really trying to focus on having positive attitudes and learning about the game and having a good experience, and they're doing all of that. So that was our first varsity meet. We had been to a JV meet prior. But with our girls being, a sophomore, a freshman, and 2 8th graders, they're young. And so we're just going to kind of try to get them as much experience as we can this year. So.
Did you lose a lot to graduation from last year?
Well, yes, and it sounds, I'm a little unfamiliar because I don't work in the school, but I don't believe they had a team last year because they had graduated a fair number of girls the year before, and there were some girls that had done dual sport prior that elected not to, and that's okay. So now we're just kind of trying to get the program going again, and the 4 girls that we have. Like I said, Crystal Magnuson, Morgan Potasic, Siri Williams, and Lainey Lizer, they're excited about it, and they do a good job in practice every day, have good attitudes, and they're learning. So they're young, but they seem to be interested in having a good time, and that's what we want to keep doing going forward.
And that's the thing about golf is that it can be tough for players to learn that they're not playing against the other person, they're playing against the course.
Absolutely. That's what, I think it's been good to go to some of these other meets and for our girls to actually see that girls from other towns hit some of the same shots that we do, good and bad. And so they get to see like, hey, everybody's going to struggle once in a while. Everybody's going to hit a tree. Everybody's going to lose a ball, miss a short putt. But the whole point of golf is, it's always the next shot. How good can our next shot be? And, 3 bad shots and 1 great one usually still make a pretty good hole. So that's kind of our, we just try to have a motto of, hey, let's keep going. Let's try it again. Let's keep going and try and do the next hole better than the one we did before.
What is practice like for your team? I've got to admit, I've never really been involved in golf, so I don't know what a practice session will be like. You don't necessarily scrimmage, I'm guessing.
No, there's not a lot of scrimmages, but golf practice. I played high school golf, played college golf. Been around teams at different levels, and golf practice is one where the individual will kind of get out of it what they put into it. So what we've been doing a lot of, and the quickest way to make improvement for not just these girls but anybody that plays golf is short game. Chipping and putting and being able to get up and down once you get the ball around the green. That's where you can really see some significant change in your scores is if you improve your short game. And that's true for these girls. That's true for myself as a pretty avid golfer. Your scores are really only going to be as good as your short game is at times. So we've kind of been splitting time between working on some technique on the driving range, getting out on the golf course and playing some holes because, like I said, these girls they're new and they need to get some holes in, and then also spending a fair amount of time on the chipping and putting green. And it's my job as a coach to try to make the kind of the monotony of practicing short game over and over and over again to try to make it fun. So we've come up with a few little games to do in our practice, and we'll often have maybe Crystal and Morgan on one team competing against the other two, and we keep track of their strokes for how many strokes they make on a little putting contest, and compete against each other in that way. But It's a lot of short game, trying to get holes in. The nice part is in the fall, we usually have, we're going to have beautiful weather for practice. I don't know if we've had a practice that's been rained out. We had a meet that got rained out, but we still practiced that day because it was beautiful in the afternoon. So we've had great weather. We have a great facility here in Hillsboro, our little 9-hole course with a driving range and a nice putting chipping green. It's been, our practices are fun and enjoyable. I think the girls have fun, and it's a very low pressure setting, golf practice is. So
I'm guessing it's easier to teach when you're not dealing with a soggy course, which you could in the springtime.
Yeah, absolutely. That I was not privy to a lot of the conversations about, when they were deciding to switch to fall golf from the spring, but being an avid golfer myself and just knowing what springs can look like in North Dakota and what our falls typically look like, it's been a great change. So, just visiting with some of the other coaches in our region, there was a time like 2 or 3 years ago, they said they had 34 girls, which was all of the girls playing golf in Region 2 at the region golf tournament. And that was it. They had 32 total. I think at our last meet, one of the coaches said we're up to about 100 girls in Region 2, and that's all the schools combined. But we've seen great growth in girls participating in golf with the move to the fall. So not only do you have more girls playing, but you also have better course conditions and your golf courses are maybe a little bit more willing to give up a fall day when things slow down a little bit out there in the fall. So the courses have been welcoming of having meets and stuff like that. So all that has worked out really well for us.
When does the Burroughs golf team have their next meets coming up?
Yeah, so we have a JV meet in Mayville on Thursday at 10 a.m. And, all of our girls are going to go to that meet because they're sophomores and freshmen and 2 8th graders. So they need the experience. It's a 9-hole meet. So we played the 18-hole meet on Monday. We'll play the 9-hole meet in Mayville on Thursday. And then next week we have the conference meet on Wednesday, and then a JV meet on Thursday, and then our home meet on Friday. So my 2 older girls, Morgan and Crystal, will play the meet in Carrington on Wednesday, and then they'll also play the varsity meet on Friday in Hillsboro. And then my 2 8th graders will play the JV meet in Castleton on Thursday, and then the JV portion of the meet that we host on Friday. So that's kind of our schedule for that week.
That's a pretty compact season.
Yeah, it gets intense. So when we started August 1st, September 16th is the region golf tournament, which is, if you don't make it to the state meet, that's the last meet of the year. So it's a short season. And we talked about that with our girls on the ride home yesterday, that, really the golf season for somebody who's an avid golfer, they should be playing in the summer and kind of getting their game, working on their game. And I know kids have a lot of stuff to do in the summer, and summers go by really quick, but it's a great opportunity for them to work on their game in the summer, get some practice in, so that when they start up next fall again, they're kind of, they've been playing for more than 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever it might be. So.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing how the Hillsboro Central Valley girls golf team does this year. Ryan, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Ryan Opdahl, coach of the Hillsboro Central Valley girls golf team, on the Coaches Show on YourLiveEvent.com.
Treat yourself to a great career at American Crystal Sugar Company. Team up with quality people making quality products. Full-time and year-round in a stable business. With great pay and benefits, including time off available from day one. American Crystal Sugar Company invests in you to promote your continued growth and career advancement. Grow your career, doing your best work within the world's best beet sugar company. Apply online today at AmericanCrystalCareers.com.
At Olson Accounting, they tackle it all with a variety of services to help your business, from payroll, strategic planning, and taxes. Plus, they'll protect your individual financial and retirement planning like an offensive line working together to protect the quarterback on the field. Let the team at Olson Accounting help you in your business or farm operation by visiting colsoncpa.com or call 701-683-2700. Olson Accounting of Lisbon.
We'll continue on the theme of high school volleyball in Minnesota on the Coaches Show as we check in with Kathleen Rustad, the coach of Hawley. The Nuggets coming off a season where they went to the state tournament last year.
The YourLiveEvent.com Coaches Show continues, and we bring in Kathleen Rustad at the Hawley Nuggets, bringing in a new season of Nugget volleyball. And for Kathleen and the Nuggets coming in this season after a state tournament run a year ago. And Kathleen, I still remember fondly how October turned for your girls last year and into November, and a magical, I might say, to a point, run to the state tournament. And the kids really, it was an impressive season, and I'm sure you have very fond memories looking back on last season.
Yes, I sure do. I think all the girls, community, school members, there was a lot of people that took part in that whole event. And I was just lucky enough to be on the bus with them. And a lot of excitement, those memories, you can't ever take them away from the whole community. So pretty fun ride, pretty fun season. And I don't know if you could paint a prettier picture. I guess there's only one other win. Top win you could have taken was first, but it was a pretty fun season.
That's right. Finishing there, wrapping up the tournament on Championship Saturday, but you go now into the off season, and you graduated a special group of kids last year, and that's the case with every senior group. So filling the holes will be the bigger piece of conversation as we go through the summer here into the open of the season.
You bet. We did graduate a couple of big outsides. We graduated some right sides. We graduated, a lot of experience, a great setter too. And this season has already been exciting to see who's going to be filling those roles, who's going to be stepping up. And I feel like the last 2 years that I've coached, seniors maybe that haven't gotten a whole lot of playing time have stepped up into filling some roles that maybe they just decided one day, they're like, I want that role, and they blossomed. So that's been kind of fun seeing some of those seniors coming up here blossom, in addition to some younger ones, maybe experienced ones. We have a couple middles that are returning. Anna Steer is going to be a senior. Izzy Steer, sister, is going to be a sophomore. Side, we have Jada Jeffick, who got some time in the back row. She's a senior. New one to the floor would be Destiny Salinas. She saw a little bit of time last year. She's more of our DS libero. We have some really interesting characteristics about these seniors. They may not have seen a whole lot of time, some of them, but they really have grown in the last week and a half. And with scrimmages, it's nothing like going into 2 days for preseason game, and then you come into a scrimmage and you're hearing people fill roles that kind of surprise you sometimes, I guess, who fills those roles. And then who kind of looks left and right, wondering, okay, is that my ball? I was here on the floor last year. Should I take that one? So it's fun to work out some of those kinks in the preseason. So hopefully when you get to the season, they're feeling a little bit more comfortable on the floor. We also have a new setter too. She's a sophomore setter. She saw a little bit of time last year. She was in a varsity jersey. So that's a whole new role in itself too. Becoming the director on the floor when you haven't normally on the varsity level. We also have a couple younger players as well. 9th graders that are kind of fitting in, another setter. We have another middle tall. We have right side, Leah. She saw some time at the state tournament. She's a junior. We have some height. So I feel like if we can rein in on that height and really become explosive there, we're going to have a fun year, I believe.
And I know that you talk about just getting a chance now. You're getting things into the scrimmaging, and then regular season is just around the corner. So the opportunity to scrimmage, how valuable is that time for your program this year?
I think scrimmage time is really valuable. When it gets to be too long, I don't know, like I said, we were filling some outside roles, and another one outside, Marissa, she's maybe looks a little quieter when you're walking around with her group or whatever, but man, she'll surprise you when she gets out on the court. She's got power behind those things. And when you see her from a distance, or when you see her off the court, like I said, not so not so loud or not so, showstopper, but you get out on the court, that's when the fun begins, is you see these people blossom out on the court that maybe they don't do it off the court. So I like scrimmages. I like you get to work out some of those kinks. I think by the end of scrimmages, you get a little tired, but that's okay. That's okay to get a little tired.
Absolutely. Yep. Getting used to the conditioning aspect, which is a lot of early season too. When it comes to your schedule, just looking a little bit ahead, a couple of tournaments you have on the schedule again this year to be able to be involved in on some weekends.
Yep, we do. We have a home tournament. We have Perm tournament. I remember last year's Perm tournament was quite long. We ended up being there probably about 10 to 12 hours. I can't remember it. It was a long one, but played a lot of volleyball that day, learned a lot. We got to see Sauk Center last year. So hopefully we see some teams that maybe we'll see on later in the season too as well.
Section 8AA. And before the section, we should touch on the conference, which is a lot of your section as well. The Heart of Lakes is always tough, and you've got some perennial favorites coming into the section again this year.
Yeah. Well, we always have some competition, don't we? But everybody lost everybody. So, we're going to have Perm's always tough. Barnesville's always tough. Breckenridge brings something, to the table, even though they're smaller class. But Fergus is out there. They always bring something. DGF, of course, they get a little feisty, that rivalry. You just can't get past that rivalry sometimes. Right. So I think it's going to be a wild card this year.
Fantastic. Kathleen, who do you have helping you out with the program this year at the Hawley School?
We have Nicole Martin at the JV. She brings lots of years of experience. She's been at multiple levels, all the way from junior high to varsity coach. So really appreciate that. We have a new one to the table, Paige Thompson, but not so unfamiliar name. Her sister Marissa was here last year. Kind of a Hawley girl herself. She is coaching the B team. And then we have Shannon Olson, who is not a stranger to the Hawley staff either. So she kind of transitioned from B team to C team to fit better schedule, but she's got lots of experience too under her belt. So lots of good. We have a couple volunteers too, Carrie Vetter, Kim Alvin, Alison Brenna. So we got some people that are on board that have been around. They know the game. So definitely wouldn't be able to do anything in the gym without all those people. That's for sure.
It should be a lot of fun this season, and I know we look forward to seeing the Nuggets in action. Kathleen, thanks for the time. Appreciate the conversation with you, and then look forward to visiting throughout the year again with our Coaches Corner, and of course here on yourliveevent.com on the Coaches Show as well, but also at those games and seeing the girls in the matches. It's I know, like you said, and as we kind of look back to last year, the energy, volleyball crazy Hawley became all of a sudden. You're hoping that carries over this year.
You bet. Thank you very much, Kevin. We'll see you around.
Absolutely. Kathleen Rustad joining us today on the yourliveevent.com Coaches Show with R&J Sports.
Do you want that new boat? Are you building onto your home? Maybe you want the new camper or ATV. Dakota Heritage Bank can help you. This is Dustin Nagel, president at Dakota Heritage Bank Hillsborough location. You can visit with me or our other loan officers to help with loans and lines of credit from Dakota Heritage Bank. We are serving you with locations in North Dakota and Northwest Minnesota. Dakota Heritage Bank offers financial services you expect with a local perspective. dhbanknd.com. Dakota Heritage Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
This is Chris Brecken from RDK Enterprises, your local precision planting dealer. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our growers. Your trust and fellowship is the driving force behind our dedication to your successful farming operation. We continue to invest in the education of our team to ensure your customer experience is outstanding. Thank you for the opportunity to be your planter experts. Stop by either of our locations in Hillsborough or Drayton, North Dakota, or visit planterdoc.com.
Let's go back to football, especially in the state of Minnesota, where the season gets underway this weekend. There will be a few games on Thursday. One of the games on Friday will feature Barnesville, and Jake Birkemeyer had a chance to talk with Barnesville coach Bryan Strand.
Welcome back to the Coaches Show on yourliveevent.com. We talk with Bryan Strand, the head coach for the Barnesville Trojan football team. And Bryan, good to have you back this year. Let's talk about that Trojan program coming back after another successful year last year, getting ready to go this year. How were things in the off season, getting ready to go before practice got started?
I think pretty good. I mean, we've got 69 kids up for football and really big junior and senior class. They hit the weight room real hard. I want to say of the 58 kids that were traveling, that's 10 through 12. I want to say 31 of them put up over 200 pounds on the bench the first day of practice. So they've definitely put the time into the weight room. It's getting the experience and getting them into the right place. And we only graduated 7 kids last year. It was a really, really small senior class for us. I think they're kind of finding their groove, and it'll be nice tomorrow. We're scrimmaging down Breck. So to go against some people that, aren't wearing the same colors is always fantastic. Like I said, we still have to name a quarterback yet. We've got 2 kids that are vying for it, and both bring something unique to the table. Probably my tallest quarterback, I got a kid that's about 6'3", 6'4", vying for it. And then we got another one that's probably right around that 5'9", 5'10", which is, 2 different spectrums of what they can bring to the table.
Let's talk about that. Who's coming back? Who should we be looking for?
We've got a really nice senior class. I want to say I think we have 17 or 18. But Johnny Robidou is starting at left guard, and he's been there since his 8th grade year. Kruger is at center, and he started all last year. He's about 265 pounds and probably the strongest kid I've ever had come through the program. I think first day the summer, I think he squatted 565, 545 and put up 335 or 340 on the bench. He's just a big human being. Jordan Kroll is in there, Tim Wells. They're all returning starters. Tate Inger is a 6'3", 265-pound tight end who moves very, very well. Wyatt Suter is back at a tight end. He didn't start last year, but he got quite a bit of playing time. In the backfield, Zach Bredman's a captain, and he's looked fantastic so far. Let's see. Trying to think of names on the fly. We've got John Roller at fullback. He started a ton last year. Connor Loke started a lot. He's a backup fullback right now, also starting linebacker. Ethan Larson is a phenomenal junior, 6'1", 190 pounds and strong as an ox. Also very, very fast. So, that's just a few of them. We've got a lot of experience back. So, it's just getting them in the right pieces and keep improving throughout. We've run them harder this year than I have the last few years. We've got a tough schedule. We've got 5 games on our schedule that we could lose easily if we don't play well. West Central was state runner-up last year. They lost state championship by 1. Obviously we should have been playing them instead of Chatfield, but that's just another story. But they beat us. They got a touchdown pass with under a minute to go last year. That was right after all that rain, and we had our D-back kind of slipped and fell down on a stop and go route, and they got us. And they're awfully good. Pelican's going to be awfully good. Hawley's going to be really good. We got Detroit Lakes, who's probably really pissed off that we beat them last year. We got them again. Osakis is awfully good. They beat us in 3 overtimes last year. So we've got a schedule that I think our depth is going to help a ton because even if we get banged up, we've got other guys that we can move into spots. But yeah.
Talk about playing some of that good competition, and that's been no stranger to the Trojan program because of the success you've had with section championships and getting down to semifinals and championship games there at US Bank. So how does that help those kids there? And at the same time, that experience being taught to the underclassmen?
I think it's huge. Just knowing what it takes. I think anybody can go out there and be average. It's average sucks. And we talked about today, you got to listen. I think we watched film for about 45 minutes to an hour and just pointed out things that are going on, and just, kids understand that, we're not attacking them. We're just pointing out things that we have to get better on. You're making mistakes now. That's fine. We just got to make sure that by November, those mistakes aren't there anymore. So I think our kids do a pretty good job of learning, listening, and they understand what the ultimate goal is, and regular season games are fine. The year we got to the state championship game, we lost back-to-back games to Hawley and Breck, I think, to end the season, and we made a great run. It's about improving and getting better. And with this many juniors and seniors, I think it just helps us out a lot. like I said, there's not a lot of AA schools that are going to have 45 juniors and seniors on the team.
Well, as I mentioned, you got the scrimmage coming up Saturday, and then it's game prep week. Getting ready for that matchup. You get to host West Central area this year around to begin the season next Friday, the 2nd. What do we got to do to get ready for that day?
We need to stay healthy tomorrow. Biggest thing. And, they've got a couple really good athletes, and I think they have almost their entire offensive line back. So we just got to be ready for a physical game. We just need to, take care of the football, concentrate on the things that we can, and we need to make more plays in them, so it's just, like I said, it's the small things, and it's just about being in shape. And, I think it's going to be a fantastic game.
Well, looking forward to that, and hopefully a fantastic year for the Trojans. Coach Bryan Strand, we should ask you too, who else you got helping you on the coaching staff this year?
Well, actually, we got the same coaches back. I got Jake Gross, who was a past graduate, who's a captain and of our first team we took to state back in 2009. We stole him out of Wahpeton. He's our freshman coach. And then my volunteers, a lot of them are back. I have Ace Gregg, Kirk Peterson, Dane Beaver, Michael Strand is on my staff. Adam Tonsfeld is helping out. I think overall, we have 9 coaches. We have 4 paid and 5 volunteer. Adam and Michael will just mainly be game week type captains or game night coaches. Just because Adam's still in school and Michael works, but they're going to add a lot. They're both going to be in the booth for us. So both with college experience, and they bring a different element to us, and can relate very well to the kids, but same staff. So, it'll be good.
I'd imagine for the athletes too, when you got 3-4 guys that they saw playing as they were growing up, but that's got to be something where they can relate to them a little better too.
Absolutely. They said, when you have success, the kids see that success and they want to emulate that. They want to get to themselves.
All right. Bryan Strand, head coach for the Barnesville Trojan football team. Bryan, thanks so much for the time here today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Looking to talking with you throughout the rest of the season.
Sounds great. Thanks, Jake.
Business will really pick up here on YourLiveEvent.com. On Thursday, we've got plenty of high school volleyball. Maple River at Lisbon, Kindred at Hillsboro, Winemere Lidgerwood at Northern Cass, Thompson hosts Carrington, Oak Grove at Sargent County, and Ada Bora Boys playing at Crookston. We've also got some high school football openers on Thursday. Polk County West will be at Mahnomen Waban, Red Lake County at Fawston, and Catholic Bena at Winnemac. And more high school football on Friday. Pillager at Hawley. Ada Bora West will host Lake Park Audubon, Northern Cass at Central Cass, Carrington at Hillsboro Central Valley, Oaks at Oak Grove. And also on Friday night, we've got Thompson hosting Harvey Wells County. So plenty of high school football. There's also a lot of high school volleyball coming up the day after Labor Day. So be sure to check here on YourLiveEvent.com for a list of all the games that we've got scheduled. And you can follow your favorite team. That's going to do it for this edition, the last edition of YourLiveEvent.com's Coaches Show for the month of August. Join us after Labor Day weekend for another edition of the Coaches Show. I'm Joe Lancello. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend, and we'll talk to you later.